Hi folks, thanks for joining. When I was down in Charlotte at the Antique Radio Meet, I ran across a gentleman that had a whole box full of these tuning condensers, various sizes. So I got a bunch of 3-gang, 4-gang, single gang like you see here. And the capacitance varies anywhere from static to variable, from some simple patterns all the way up through 400 to 500 picofarads. So great find, a whole box for 20 bucks. Couldn't turn it down. Anyway, bad weather came through the area last night. More rain this morning, mid-afternoon, and really high winds. Skies have finally started to clear. A few folks have got the mowers fired up. I've got my yard work done for the week. So anyway, I thought I'd play around. I had this ferrite material that I purchased some time back, and I actually was doing some cleaning up, and I saw it. And I said, what the heck? Let me get that out, and let's make a little Ferrite Antenna Booster. So that's what you have here in front of you. It's nothing more than a variable tuning capacitor or condenser, as I like to refer to them as. The value on this one, I checked it on the LCR meter, I think was around 15 picofarad up to 450 to 460 picofarad. And what I've done is make an inductor, again by winding some 24 or 26 gauge wire here on this piece of type 61 ferrite. It's a 1/2 inch in diameter, 7.5 inches long. So I've wound all the way out to each end, maybe less, 1/4 inch or so on each side. And that gave me right at, you can see just north of 300 microhenries. So if you plug that into an LC calculator, these different ranges, you'll see that I can easily have a tuned circuit that would get me below the broadcast band and above the broadcast band, and that's exactly what's occurring with this. Anyway, here's the simple schematic. Hopefully this is showing up. Again, it's nothing more than just a tuned circuit here with L and C. And again, you can see that I've got my type 41 ferrite here on this side. Again, the coil wound all the way through again, and checking it somewhere just north of 300 microhenries. And again, the variable capacitor. So real simple design. But I wanted to make it because I've got a nice little loop antenna. It's one I bought, not one that I made. So its sensitivity is so-so on it. But having this tuning condenser, already having ferrite, I thought I would just see what kind of boost I could get to the RF level, and through inductance tie that back into the existing loop stick antenna on my Sony radio. So let's give it a try here, see what kind of results we get. One thing interesting to note here before we try to pull in AM 550 out of Statesville, North Carolina, I was just doing some research on the Ferrite antenna itself, and there was a patent actually issued that dates back to 1939. So it just shows you how far back, and people were thinking ahead. And that's what I love about engineering. You got these deep thinkers, and they're just thinking ahead. So it was many years past before the ferrite antenna actually was born and used on a regular basis. And again, as sets started to shrink, especially transistor radios and such, the ferrite material with some Litz wire around that to form the inductor and the antenna was a perfect match. So I just thought I'd share that real quick. Okay, with the volume up just a bit here on the radio, you can hear AM 550 just a bit maybe in the background. Again, it's not a usable signal, nothing I'd want to sit there and really listen to for any length of time. So let's pull the ferrite antenna here that I made in closer. Again, the other loop stick antenna or loop antenna is integrated into this radio somewhere here on the top side. So just through inductance here, we'll tie the two together, and then we'll just tune the tuning condenser. So there you have it. You can see the difference there in the amount of gain that we get just by adding the Ferrite antenna as a booster through inductance back to the existing antenna. So I hope you found that helpful. Again, the schematic is straightforward. So for those out there, watching, you can see how simple it is. Just within a matter of minutes, you can put this together in your shop. And for those that don't have maybe the ferrite material, you can still get, I think satisfactory results just using a coil of wire around a paper tube or so, maybe 100 turns or more, and get some added value that way. If you happen to have an old tuning condenser, maybe give that a try as well. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully the weather will continue to improve soon, and I'll have the time and opportunity to get back on the cabinet on the Zenith. And for everyone that watched the video on the Silvertone radio, much appreciated. I hadn't had an opportunity to respond to the comments yet, but I will. But I think I will go ahead and restore that one, and I'm going to do something different. I'm actually going to start with the cabinet. Since I'm going to be stripping the Zenith 5S 127 or 129 cabinet, I'll go ahead and take advantage of all the raw materials and time to do that, and we'll get that Silvertone stripped, and we'll take a closer look at the veneer, see what we can salvage on it. And I'll probably just do both cabinets at the same time. So folks, thanks again for watching. Hope you found this helpful. Take care.